Good morning, everyone. We are coming to you live via Facebook streaming, via YouTube streaming, and also via Skype online. Each one of you is welcome to this live streaming. Fear is the only obstruction. Fear of what will happen. You have to start intellectually, observing the gaps between the breathing. In the beginning, it will not be easy. You have to start intellectually, but do not cling to it. When I say do, try doing it. If something begins to happen to you, then you will be capable of throwing away the intellect aside and reaching towards the master without intellect, without any effort, without the meditator. But you must start doing something. We can go on talking for years and years. Your mind will be stuffed with many things, but it is not going to help in any way. Rather, it will harm you because you will begin to know many things without knowing. And if you know many things, confusion is bound to come. It is not good to know many things. It is good to know a little and start the practice. A single technique can be helpful. Something done is always helpful and better than something else. What is the difficulty in doing it? Deep down somewhere, there remains fear. Fear is that if you do it, it may be that something stops happening. That is the fear. It may look paradoxical, but during the process of transformation, I met so many persons who think they want to change. They need meditation. They ask for a deep transformation, but deep down fear remains as undercurrent. This is duality. You have two minds. Then they ask what to go on doing, but they never do anything. If you are not doing anything, then why are you asking? This is just to deceive themselves that they are interested in transforming themselves. That is why they are asking. It gives many faces, an appearance that they are really sincere, interested in changing themselves, bringing about transformation. That is why they are asking, going to this master and that, finding, trying, but they never do anything. Deep down, they are afraid. Eric Fromm has written a book, The Fear of Freedom. The title seems contradictory, but this is how it is. Fear of freedom. Everyone thinks that he likes freedom. Everyone thinks that he is endeavoring for freedom. in this world, in this world, and in that world as well. We want moksha, liberation. We want to be freed from all limitations, from all slaveries. We want total freedom, it is said. But Eric Fromm says that man is afraid of freedom. We want it, we go on saying that we want it, but we go on convincing ourselves that we go on convincing that we want it, but deep down there is fear of freedom. We do not want it. Why? This duality. Freedom creates fear, and meditation is the deepest freedom possible. You are not freed only from outward limitations. You have inner slavery as well. The very mind, is the base of slavery. You are yoked to your conditionings. You are yoked to your memory. You are freed from the whole past. The moment you have no mind, the past disappears. You have transcended history. Now there is no society, no religion, no scripture, no tradition, because they all have their abode in the mind. Now there is no past, no future, because past and future are part of the mind, the memory and the imagination. That is why Shankar says, I am neither of these. Then you are here now, in this very moment present. Now there is no going, there is not going to any future. There will be now and here, the eternal now. Only then you are completely free. You have transcended all traditions. Analyze yourself. Are you free from the traditions? All history, body, mind and everything. One becomes free of the fearful. Such freedom. Then where will you be? In such freedom, can you exist? In such freedom, in such vastness, can you have your small I, your ego? Can you say I am? You can say I am in bondage, because you can know your boundaries. When there is no bondage, boundaries have disappeared. You become like a slate, nothing more, absolutely nothing, emptiness. And this creates fear. So one goes on talking about meditation, about how to do it, and one goes on without doing it. All the questions arise out of this fear. Feel this fear. If you know it, then it will disappear. If you do not know, it will continue deep within. Are you ready to die in the spiritual sense? Are you ready to be not? Whenever anyone came to Buddha, he would say, this is the basic truth, that you are not. And because you are not, you cannot die. You cannot be born. Because you are not, you cannot be in suffering, in bondage. Are you ready to accept it? Buddha would ask, are you ready to accept this? And if you are not ready to accept it, then do not try meditation now. It is not for you. First try to find out whether you are ready, whether you really are or you are not. Go and meditate on this. Is there any self? Is there any substance within, or you are just a combination? If you manage to find out, you will know that, you will find out that your body is a combination. Something has come from your mother, something has come from your father, and all else has come from food. This is your body. In this body, you are not, there is no self. Contemplate on mind. Something has come from here, something from there. Mind has nothing original in it. It is just an accumulation of thoughts, ideas, memories. Find out. If there is any self in the mind, if you move deep, if you find that your identity is just like an onion, you peel one layer, another comes up, you peel another, still another layer comes up, and you go on peeling off, and ultimately you come to the state of nothingness. With all the layers thrown off, there is nothing inside. Body and mind are like onions. When you have peeled off both body and mind, then you come to encounter nothingness, an abyss, a bottomless void. And Buddha calls this as shunya. You would hear in many of his sutras, shunyata is the word used. To encounter this shunya, to encounter this void, fear comes in. That fear is there. That is why we never meditate really. We talk about it, but we never do anything about it. The fear is there. You know deep down that there is a void and you want to escape this fear. Whatsoever you do, the fear will remain unless you encounter it. We do not want to encounter this fear. That is the only way. Once you encounter your nothingness, once you know that onion, that within you are just like a space, shunya, emptiness. Shunya means emptiness, then there is no fear. Then there cannot be any fear because this void cannot be destroyed. This void is not going to die. That which is going to die is no more. It was nothing but the layers of an onion that has to disappear, that have to die. That is why many times in deep meditation one comes very close to nothingness. One becomes afraid and starts trembling. One feels that one is going to die. So one wants to escape from this nothingness back to the world of no. And many go back. Then they never turn within again. As you are, each one of you have tried in some life or the other certain meditative technique. You have been near to the state of nothingness, then fear gripped you and you escaped. The memory of that escape is still there deep within. And deep in your past memories, that memory is there, that becomes the hindrance. Whenever you again think of trying meditation, that past memory deep down in your unconscious mind again disturbs you and says, go on thinking, do not do it. You have done it once. It is difficult to find a man who has not tried meditation once or twice in some life. The memory is there, but you are not conscious of it. You are not aware of where the memory is, but it is there. Whenever you begin to do something, that becomes a barrier, it surfaces, whatsoever you do. And this and that begins to stop you in many ways. So if you are really interested in meditation, found out about your own fear of it, be sincere in it. Are you afraid? If you are afraid, then first something has to be done about that fear, not about meditation. Buddha used to use many devices. Sometimes someone would say to him, I am afraid of trying meditation. And this is a must. The master must be told that you are afraid. You cannot deceive him, and there is no need. It is, when you do not tell the master, it is like deceiving yourself. So whenever Someone would say, I am afraid of meditation. Buddha will say, you are fulfilling the first requirement. If you say yourself that you are afraid of meditation, then something becomes possible. Then something can be done because you have uncovered a deep thing. So, what is the fear? Meditate on it. Meditate on the fear. Go and dig out where it comes from. What is its source? All fear is basically death oriented. Whatsoever is form, mode, irrespective of shape, name, all fear is death oriented. If you move deep, you will find that you are afraid of death. If someone came to Buddha and said, I am afraid of death, I have found this out, Buddha will then say, go to the burning ghat, the cremation ground, go to the cemetery and meditate on a funeral pyre. People die daily, they will be burned, buried. Just remain there at the cemetery and meditate on the burning pyre. When their family members have gone, you remain there. Just look into the fire, at the burning body. When everything is becoming smoke, you just look at it deeply. Do not think. Just meditate on it for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. When it becomes a certainty that to you that death cannot be escaped, when it becomes absolutely certain that death is the way of life, death is embedded in life, that death is going to be that there is no way out and you are already in it, only then you come to me. After meditating on death, after seeing every day and night dead bodies being burnt, dissolve into ashes, just as smoke remains and then disappears. After meditating for months together, a certainty will arise. The certainty that death is inevitable. It is only certainty, the only thing certain in life is death. Everything else is uncertain. It may be or it may not be. But you cannot say that it may be or it may not be for death. For everything else you can say it. It has already occurred. The moment you entered into life, you entered into death as well. Now nothing can be done about it. When death is certain, the fear vanishes. Fear is always with things that can be changed. If death is to be, fear disappears because it is certain. If you can change it, if you can do something about death, then fear will remain. If nothing can be done, if you are already in it, then it is absolutely certain that fear will disappear. When fear of death has disappeared, Buddha will allow you to meditate. He would say, now you can meditate. So you go deep into your mind, and listening to these techniques will be helpful only when your inner barriers are broken, when inner fear has disappeared, and you are certain that death is the reality. So if you die in meditation, there is no fear. Death is certain. Even if death occurs in meditation, there is no fear. Only then you can move, and then you can move at a high speed because there is no barrier. It is not the distance that takes time. Instead, it is barrier that takes time. You can move this very moment if there are no barriers. You are already there, but because of the barriers, it is a hurdle race. You go on putting up more and more hurdles. You feel good when you cross one hurdle. You feel good that you have crossed the hurdle. And the idiocy of it is, the foolishness of it is that it is that this hurdle was placed there by you in the first place. It was never there. You go on putting the hurdles, then jumping over them, then feeling good. This is all stupidity. Mind creates hurdles because mind is afraid. It will give you many explanations as to why you are not doing the meditation. Do not believe in it, go deep. Find out the basic cause. Why does a person go on talking about food but never eats? What is the problem? The man seems mad. Another man goes on talking about love but never loves. Next one goes on talking about something else but never does anything about it. Talks becomes obsessive. It becomes a compulsion. One goes on, one sees talking as a doing. Talking becomes doing. By talking, you feel you are doing something. So you feel at ease. You are doing something, at least talking, at least reading, at least listening. This is not real doing. This is deceptive. Do not fall into such deception. I will be talking here about these 112 techniques of meditation, not to feed your mind, not to make you more knowledgeable, not to make you more informed. I am not trying to make you a learned. I am talking here in order to give you a certain technique which can change your life. So whichever method appeals to you, do not start talking about it, instead do it. Be silent about it and start doing it. Your mind will raise many questions. Just inquire deeply first before asking me. Inquire deeply first whether those questions are really significant or if your mind is deceiving you. Do first and then ask. Then your question becomes practical. And I know which question has been asked through doing and which has been asked just out of curiosity. So by and by, I will not ask any intellectual questions. So you are already the truth. Only a certain awakening is needed. Remember, you are not going anywhere else. You are to go into yourself. And going is possible this very moment if you can put aside your mind. You enter here now. These techniques are for putting your mind aside. These are not really for meditation. They are putting the mind aside. Once mind is not there, you are. And that is enough. We'll continue when we meet again. Techniques for attentiveness. We have spoken on 4 techniques, all relating to the breath movement. Now the upcoming 5 techniques are techniques for attentiveness. Attention between eyebrows, attention when in the worldly activities, so on and so forth. So until then, take care and do have a pleasant day.